Hi everybody, I'm JT. Welcome to the next video in our trip around Europe this summer. We've just finished a week here in the Alps, staying in just outside Briançon. We've just packed up the tent after a pretty torrential thunderstorm overnight, and we are now heading up through France, back up to the wine region of Immerse, where we're going to spend a few more days before we head back to the UK. Trip back today takes us back into Italy for a short while. We're driving over the Col de Montgenèvre. Driving back over the Col de Montgenèvre, which we travelled over a few days ago, and then we drop back down into Italy for not very far until we go back into France through the Frejus tunnel. If you've seen a previous video, we paid a return ticket for that for last week, which is valid for 7 days, and then that will cover the cost of going back through. It wasn't cheap, around about 70 euros including tax, so about £60, but it does save quite a long section of going round the mountain, obviously time as well. So hopefully the traffic will be okay. And then we'll stop for some lunch, probably once we get out of the Alps and back onto the auto routes in a few hours' time. Quite strange because it's almost like the weather's changed. The trees look more like they're in autumnal colours. They've obviously had some rain. It just feels quite different to how it was on the French side of the mountain. We've got about half an hour probably driving through Italy before we cross back over into France. Still some beautiful mountain scenery to enjoy. So we just filled up with fuel at an Italian self-service fuel station. Fuel price is cheapest we've seen. It's €1.75, with €1.75, which is a lot cheaper than certainly home and cheaper than France. Slightly problematic filling process that even the locals weren't sure of. But we've got a full tank of fuel and we're ready to carry on. Next stop, the Frejus tunnel. Got your pass?
Yep.
This is where we find out if our return ticket works.
It's the 18th.
It's the 18th.
That's
and
good.
what time did we go through?
We've got until midnight.
Oh, we've got until midnight. Perfect.
Well, 1 minute to.
So our ticket worked, return ticket worked. We're through and about to go through the Frejus tunnel back into France. Traforo del Frejus. So what did we learn about it? It was 8 kilometres long. 10
It's
kilometres.
the 13th longest
It's the 13th longest tunnel
in the world.
in the world. And there we go, back out the other side into France. Feels like coming out. Straight through, no border checks, no passport checks, just straight through. So, next stop, lunch via the A43 autoroute. Back on the autoroute proper now, got 340 kilometres to go until we get to a destination in Immerse. So it's too far to go in one stop, so we'll have a break en route. Then we split it into two. Still, even after over an hour's driving, still in the Alps, but now French side rather than the Italian side. So we've completed the first step of our journey this morning. We've done sort of 2 hours, about 100 miles worth of driving. We're now well out of the Alps and got the Chartreuse Mountains, smaller pre-Alps I suppose you'd call them, just on our right hand side. We're going to have some lunch here at the Air. Great setups as always with these, just somewhere to park, have a picnic, freshen up. Sun's not shining at the moment, but it is a bit warmer than it has been. It's about 22 degrees and the rain's holding off as well, so hopefully we'll arrive at our pitch at the camping site of Immerse a little bit later on, and we'll be able to put our tent up in the dry rather than the wet. Anyway, I'm going to go and eat my lunch now, baguette, just for a change, and enjoy that, and we'll catch up with you a little bit later on. In another news flash, I've just checked the weather on my watch, and the rain that was forecast for when we arrived at Immerse this afternoon appears to have cleared. So fingers crossed we'll get there and it'll be dry for when we pitch our tent. Fingers crossed. Here's hoping. Having a tag for the auto route really pays off. Just driving straight past the congestion queue. Thank you very much. Because there's really bad congestion due to accidents and roadworks, which you very rarely see. I think it's the first proper traffic queue we've been sat in the last 3 years of coming to France. But we've diverted off. We're only 15 miles or so from the campsite. We're now running on a D road parallel to the congested motorway, so hopefully get there in good time. I'm just hoping that the big rain cloud that I can see over there isn't raining over the campsite, because it's definitely raining. Bit of the traffic, we are taking some shortcuts through farm lanes through the vineyards. Just a couple of kilometres away. Immerse is just there. I think the campsite is just over there.
A new place, a new home, for a while, let me feel alive. Nothing to hold me back, take my time, just enjoy the ride. a new man passing by. Life is good, best I've ever felt. Get me up, somewhere new, somewhere I can find myself. Oh, I feel so alive. As I reach out to the sky.
So we made it, we got the tent up, and then it started raining. But canopy's up, tent is up, kettle's on, and we're here in one piece, which is all a bonus. So, going to settle in, have some dinner, and relax, and hopefully, I think the weather's supposed to be much better tomorrow, so is the kettle boiled?
Yeah. Teapot's brewing.
Cup of tea's ready. So shortly after arriving yesterday evening, it was I think we got here about 5 o'clock, which was a little bit later than scheduled, but there have been some traffic, unusually some traffic problems on the auto route, so we were slightly delayed by that, but came cross country for the journey all through the vineyards and their local country lanes, which was a nice end to the trip. As we were driving across the open farmland, we could see some huge rain clouds coming over, and there was a chance of rain when we got here, and indeed it did arrive, and rain just as we were finishing putting the tent up, and then proceeded to rain for most of the evening, but we were able to sit under cover under our canopy and eat our dinner and had a nice relaxing evening, and we all slept really well last night until we were woken up this morning around about 8 o'clock as the workers arrived to start picking grapes in the fields just across from our pitch. So as 3 vans arrived and out bundled about 30 Eastern Europeans who proceeded to put their baskets on their back and then trek down amongst the vines to start picking grapes. So really shows you that we are bang in the centre of wine producing area here in Immerse. But got a nice pitch, nice spot. Last year we were pitched almost exactly a year ago, just up behind on the next level up, next terrace up. So slightly different view, slightly different location, but really nice nonetheless. So plan for the next couple of days is just to take it easy really. We shall pop into Immerse, into the village, have a look around. As always when we arrive somewhere, we travel light with our food and our provisions, so we need to go and do a little bit of shopping in the supermarket, and then tomorrow we'll have a day out exploring somewhere, weather permitting. We'll see what we're going to do. One thing that we haven't done so far, which we always do on a trip to France, is go and visit a chateau, and we haven't done that yet. There hasn't even been talk of it yet, so maybe we'll do that, but we shall see. If we don't do that, there's certainly the option to do lots of cycling on all the little lanes and tracks that run amongst all the different vineyards here. So I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Remember, if you have, please remember to click the button to like and subscribe, and follow us on our Campervan journey.